Alright, guys, so after last weekend's UFC fight night, Sergey Pavlovich just finished Curtis Blades in the first round. And, now people are starting to see that this guy, Sergey Pavlovich, should actually get a title shot over Stipe Miocic, who's been out of the game for over 2 years. And, this feels like it's a more intriguing matchup because Stipe is getting older. He just got brutally KO'd from Francis Ngannou. Now he's got good striking, but he's gonna be slower, I'd assume. And I don't think he'll be able to take too much clean shots. But with Sergey, you got a younger guy who's in his prime, or even technically since it's heavyweight, you could say he hasn't his prime yet. But he's putting on exciting fights. All his fights in the UFC, even his loss, they've all been inside the first round. He's never seen a second round. Like, this guy just doesn't know what a second round is. He just goes after it. And he's fast, he's powerful, but he mainly just only boxes in there. He doesn't throw kicks. He doesn't like to throw elbows. I've heard that he's actually got a Greco-Roman wrestling background, which is pretty interesting because that's also the same background as Jon Jones for his wrestling days. But outside of that, I think it's if Sergey Pavlovich's takedown defense holds up, I think this would be very interesting because this guy, he's not only just a brute, he's tall and his arms are very long. Jon Jones has an 84.5-inch reach, which gives him the longest reach in the UFC. But Sergey Pavlovich has an 84-inch reach, so that means that this guy has the second longest reach in the UFC. And out of all of Jon Jones' opponents, Jon Jones has never fought someone that has a reach like that close to him. Like, usually it's like a four or more inch reach advantage. Most of his opponents haven't come close to his reach, but Sergey is pretty much there. So when Jon Jones goes to post away like the way he does with his long guard, like, Sergey is still gonna be able to hit him with an overhand right. Like, if he keeps pressuring him, like, Jon Jones' defense is gonna have to improve. He's gonna have to change up his defense. Obviously, I think at heavyweight he's going for more of a grappling approach, because if you guys remember in the Ciryl Gane fight, for the brief moment that they were on the feet, Jon Jones didn't actually look that fast. He actually looked like pretty sluggish and slow. Maybe that's due to ring rust, him not being there for 3 years, and it's his first fight where he's at 250 pounds. So that the weight's obviously is going to slow him down. But, it was still pretty slow. Like, you'd think he'd be faster. But we hadn't seen, like, videos of him, like, striking too much. Like, actually, never mind. We did see it. We saw videos of him, like, punching and boxing. He looked pretty sharp, pretty fast. But in the fight itself, he actually looked kind of sluggish and slow. Now, that might have been because when he was game planning for Ciryl Gane, he was mainly expecting... He saw a path to victory on the ground, which is part of why he trained more grappling for this fight. He didn't do as much striking, which would make sense. But he still did low-based stylish. And against Sergey Pavlovich, I think he would employ a similar game plan, considering what Alistair Overeem did. But Jon Jones is a threat everywhere he is, right? He just doesn't have that, sting in his shots like a natural heavyweight, or he can put someone away with, some clean shots. But he makes up for it in his versatility with his kicks, knees, elbows. He makes up for his punching power and all those. And Sergey actually showed a weakness, I think, to leg kicks, because in that Curtis Blades fight, that Curtis Blades fight, I thought it would answer more questions, but it still answered a few questions. First of all, like I said, Sergey is legs are there to be kicked. John Jones has great leg kicks where it's stomps that's gonna disrupt Sergey's timing, or the regular leg kicks and calf kicks that he's gonna be able to do, and just take some weight off his lead leg, which might take some of his power away as well, because he can't use his lead leg to generate that sort of force. But another weakness or another question that was revealed was that Sergey actually has a really good shin. He's been cracked by Taito Iwasa before, but like in that fight, maybe it's just the adrenaline because he had Taito Iwasa hurt. So he already knew that, okay, I have this guy hurt. I'm just gonna swing it, and like my adrenaline is through the roof. So it doesn't matter what he hits me with. I'm just gonna I'm gonna stay on him, keep beating him up. But then with Curtis Blades, he's not he doesn't hit as hard as Taito Iwasa, but the dude can still punch. He's a big heavyweight, 260 pounds. A guy like that landing a clean right hand on your chin, and you're not even worried about it. That's impressive. You know what I mean? The dude can take a shot for sure, and he's definitely gonna be able to take John Jones' punches. But another thing that was also shown is that, Sergey, he had a bit of, he's very, very relentless in his approach. I guess we kind of knew that, but he is very relentless. But another thing, when Curtis Blades was rocked, he actually showed that he had pretty good takedown defense. He just shocked him off. He seems to be pretty strong, actually. He looked bigger than Curtis Blades, even though Curtis Blades weighed more than he did, which was pretty weird to me. So John Jones has said that, for his next fight, he wants to get down to about 235 pounds or 240, cutting down a bit of weight. So if he does go into a fight with Sergey Pavlovich, the weight difference is going to be about 20 pounds. Sergey would be 20 pounds heavier than John Jones, which would benefit Sergey in terms of taking the takedown defense. The heavier you are, the harder it is to take you down. So that would be good for Sergey. Another thing that would be good for Sergey is John Jones will be in danger at all times when they're standing on their feet. Now I get it, he's fought power punchers at light heavyweight, but this time it's a guy who can really, when John Jones goes to jab him, Sergey's going to be able to hit him too. That's an unfamiliar look for John Jones. And, is John Jones' chin still going to hold up? I think it will. I don't think he's been hit crazy amount of times like someone like Max Holloway. John Jones does a good job of rolling with punches, and he's got a pretty good guard. And like I said, he uses a long guard where he just extends his arm out, and then no one can reach him. But it's gonna be interesting for sure. I think John Jones is gonna have to really stay in that kick range, or he's gonna have to stay really close to Sergey, clinch range, because you don't want to be in that middle range where Sergey can just box and then just tee off on you and unleash his power, because that's obviously, he doesn't want to end up like Sergey's other opponents. But one thing about him is I'm not sure Sergey's power is a bit overrated or not, because if you look at it from this way, Derek Lewis had been knocked out by Taito Iwasa, and then he came back and got knocked out in 30 seconds by Sergey. Taito Iwasa had been knocked out by Ciryl Gane, and then he came back 2 or 3 months later, got knocked out by Sergey again. Curtis Blades is a man who's been knocked out 3 times in his career. That probably doesn't have the best shin at this moment, and then Sergey unleashed on him and was able to take him out. But Curtis was taking some of his shots well. So it's interesting. I definitely think that John Jones is a favorite. I think it would be a more fun fight to watch than John Jones versus Stipe. But personally, I feel like the UFC's not going to do it. John Jones has said he's going to retire after he beats Stipe. And, I guess it's probably going to be Sergey Pavlovich versus Ciryl Gane. But we'll see.